Good. That's what I was wondering. I was making sure that I could pick it up, and then also, whoops, I have to move my microphone for. I've got Twitch on. I can't hear you because I'm hard. I have my headphones to this, so I can only. I'm basically not able to hear anyone. Um, if you go to Riverside, I could bring y'all up. So I was gonna tell you. I But then if you go to Riverside, I actually can like you can come in and to the community chat, and I could actually take questions and stuff like that. It's actually really cool information. It's my name, DwayneMorton.com. I mean not .com. I mean I have that too, but so trying to make sure that I got everybody on this. So um, so I have not opened this yet. I'm just letting y'all know. I have my friend Kyle in here. Kyle, can you hear me? So one of my friends, he's actually okay. All right, Zach, what's up? Thank you so much for coming on. So I have some friends over on TikTok. Wild Bill, Deanna, I believe Alex is on there. So these are just really good friends of mine that I've met over the last few weeks. It's just amazing what kind of community I've been able to find in everything. Um, so everyone has just been extremely supportive, and I just want to say thank you so much. I say that with the utmost gratitude. Um, I'm really looking forward to opening this. I've seen two already. My brother got his earlier this afternoon. He would not let me touch it. My friend Aaron got his yesterday and asked me to sign it for someone who, for a graduate for high school. And so, extremely great gift. Um, the power of a mindset is just so important. And so, I was so Kyle is someone who's been helping me out with this whole getting into podcasting. He's a podcast coach, but he's a friend of mine, and so he's been helping me out. So I just want to say again a quick shout out, thank you for him. So I think I just need to open this. Like I think I just need to open this. Like so. I wanted to give a few minutes to see how many people were able to hop on. Okay, you're in here as a guest. Okay, Kyle. Yeah, that's fun. So, without further ado, let's see what my book looks like. Like, what's my book look like? This is a very strange film. I feel like a kid, like I'm like 5 years old. Oh man, so my buddy Aaron just showed up. Thanks a lot, Swain. Man, what's up, brother? So I finally got this thing in my hands. This is so amazing to be able to have my own book, but to actually have it in my possession is just amazing. So I see my little brother is over on TikTok. Wow, my brother went to. So one thing is a lot of people talk about writing a book, and they just don't follow through. And so I just want to say like it's a hell of an accomplishment, but it's one of those things is like when you're able to do something and really put your mind to it and accomplishment is just amazing. So what I plan on doing is um, I do want to shout out someone. She's unable to make it. She just messaged me, and that's fine. I appreciate her anyway. She's a really great friend of mine. Michelle Uyghur. I actually have her book right here. So I met Michelle 11 months ago, and Michelle suffers from narcolepsy. And well, she doesn't really suffer; she strives through it. But she has this book called "Don't Snooze Your Dreams." With this, where everybody can kind of see it. Oh, TikTok people. Michelle Uyghur. So I met her, and I had this big breakthrough on this pretty big Zoom, and she was like, she's telling me about her book, but she had a goal of speaking on 200 stages that year. Like, think about it, 200 stages in 365 days. So she's doing a lot of traveling. She's busy, but um, I got this book, and when I got it, I was like, "How did it feel to get to have your own book?" And she kind of let me know some different things, and so I think it's very important that you can get your own goals through watching someone else. So I hope that I've inspired somebody today to write their own book because I believe everyone has at least one book into them. Um, so this is probably where I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna be honest, and it's okay. I'm a strong man in my masculinity. Went through a lot of hard times. So, but what I'd like to do um, is just kind of show the book a little bit. So you'll see there's like this QR code, and when you hit that QR code, it's going to go to an intro video. And throughout the book, there's these different little like I'm a huge fan of Shel Silverstein, and the little black and white like illustrations. There's a few in there. I don't want to, but it's the journey of it's my journey in life as a basketball um, throughout this book. So I want to read this dedication. I'll go ahead and tell you that I will try not to cry, but I probably will. To every person who ever faced a moment when the universe seemed to have other plans, this book exists because you exist. Struggling, persevering, and ultimately showing up. I pray that these words find you exactly when you need them the most. To Melvin Turner Sr., whose wisdom continues to guide me from beyond the rim. Your light shines on in every life you touch. To my wonderful parents, my younger brother and sister in law, you all witnessing the pains and struggles gave me the courage and strength to hold it together. And to my nieces, you'll never know how many times your laughter pulled me back from the edge. This is how we turn pain into purpose. Here's the forward that my good friend Chuck DeBroder, he's a master hypnotist. He's the one that helped me, um, shared the power of hypnosis with me. It's a quiet Monday morning. I'm sorry, forward. The heart of Show Up to Win. It's a quiet Monday morning as I sit down to write this. The kind of day that feels like a fresh notebook page, full of promise and a chance to scribble something new. I love Mondays for that. They're a weekly reset, a moment to rewrite your story. Today, I'm excited to tell you about Dwayne Morton, a guy whose life proves that grit, heart, and showing up can change everything, no matter how rough the road gets. I'm Chuck DeBroder, a master hypnotist and mind therapist. For the last 10 years, or sorry, for the last 20 years, I've helped folks untangle their mental knots and find their way forward. I simultaneously spent 25 years as a meteorologist, forecasting storms and sunny days. But let me tell you, predicting the weather is a breeze compared to guiding someone like Dwayne through the storms of their own life. Dwayne's story starts in a tough spot. A misdiagnosis sent him down a years long rabbit hole of pointless treatments. He survived a terrifying shootout while driving his niece, a moment that'd shake anyone to their core. And hit by hit, he watched his dreams slip away. Yeah, the YouTube chat code has come through. So when we started working together, Dwayne wasn't broken, but he was buried under layers of chaos and doubt. Our sessions weren't about fixing him, they were about helping him dig deep and find the strength he'd always had. What we did was simple but game changing. We leaned into gratitude, not the cheesy journal about your feelings kind, but real gratitude for the moment he was in. It was like flipping a switch. That, pre- that practice rebuilt his confidence and helped him see himself differently. From there, he started taking what I call imperfect action, those messy, courageous steps towards his goals, even when he wasn't sure where they'd lead. We all get stuck in what if spirals sometimes. What if I bomb this job interview? What if I flunk out of school? I tell my clients and I remind myself that if you can imagine a bad what if, you can dream a good one too. Picture this. What if you know that presentation and got a standing O? What if you won a random sweepstakes and a $25,000 check showed up in your mailbox? How would that feel? Where would you go? That's not just daydreaming, it's training your brain to chase possibilities instead of fear. It's fuel for action. And failure, it's not the enemy. It's more like a tough coach. Every stumble teaches you something, maybe what not to do, but that's still progress. I tell people to get a little excited about messing up. Every mistake is a clue, a nudge toward a better way. Growth isn't a straight shot. It's a zigzag of trying, learning, and getting back up. Dwayne's love for basketball is at the heart of his Show Up to Win program. For him, the court was more than a game, it was a life teacher. As an international player in South America, he learned resilience, picking himself up after a bad game or injury, discipline, dragging himself to practice on days he'd rather be in bed, and staying cool under pressure, keeping his head in the game when the clock was ticking. Showing up wasn't just about being there physically, it meant bringing his whole self, mind, heart, and focus, even when life felt like a full court press. Now, Dwayne uses basketball to coach teens and adults to show up in their own lives. He asks a simple question: when life throws you a challenge, do you step up with everything you've got, or do you leave your courage on the bench? His program isn't about being flawless, it's about showing up with intention, believing you're enough, and playing the game of life with heart. This book isn't just Dwayne's story, it's for anyone who has ever felt stuck, doubted themselves, or wondered if they got what it takes. Your challenge your challenges have made you tougher than you know. The answers you're looking for, they're already inside you. The boldest thing you can do is show up, not perfectly, but fully, on the wild, messy, beautiful ride of becoming who you're meant to be, with gratitude for Dwayne's courage and yours, Chuck DeBroder. We'll get a drink of water real quick. And so, um, before I'm gonna read the introduction, but I wanted to kind of just tell you all a little bit about that day, and why it was so important for me to release this book on 516. Initially, this book was going to come out in June, probably late June. I ran into someone at a grocery store, and I just was like, they need my book. And my brother is actually in this TikTok live. I actually talked to him last night. I was like, read my book. Like, my book is the answer to some of the stuff that you're asking me. And so there's been a couple of people that I've done that before. Is like when I was like, man, they need my book. And so I really just got out there and just really worked really hard on getting this book. And I know if people apply what's in this book, it'll change their lives. And so that's the type of impact that I I'm so looking forward to hearing the stories of the people that I know that have invested in this book, invested their time into really changing their life. And so that's my purpose. Um, but I wanted to share one thing about the day of the shooting. We just had the third anniversary. It was important to do something, so I just am not focused on that on a negative manner. Or and so that was the reason I picked this release date on 5/16. So from now on May 16th, instead of worrying about the bullet that missed my head, I literally am thinking about this is the day that I released my first book, and I inspired so many people. And that's also a mindset trick. Also, is like when you're able to shift something from negative into positive, or just even if it's neutral. But I wanted to share something I've shared it a few times on podcasts, but I just don't talk about it that much. But that day that the shooting happened, I was already through this one challenge. Was a type 2 diabetic. I had a real bad A1C, had like really bad infection. And like, I think this was like in February. On May 16th, I go to a doctor, I get released, and then my little niece was with me, and I had been telling her, "Hey, I don't want to bring you. We're not going to bring you to ice cream. Get ice cream." So she asked to get ice cream, and I was like, "Sure, let's go." So that day, the bullet hit a truck. It hit a Chevrolet Avalanche truck. I don't own a Chevrolet Avalanche truck. It's my father's, and so my vehicle was a is an SUV Buick Rendezvous, and there was tire pressure issues on two of the front tires. And I don't know, like I just didn't want to get stuck with my niece, and so I had been driving my dad's truck. About 2 or 3 days before this, my dad is like, "Hey, I'd rather you not drive my truck all the time. I'd rather you just drive yours." And I understood because I was using his gas, and you know, but that day I picked up the keys to the SUV. Almost walked out of the door with them, and I was like, "No, nah, I'm just gonna drive a truck. Like, I need to, like, I don't want to get stuck with my little niece somewhere, um, and have a flat tire." And so, the lesson in this, why I'm teaching you, is sometimes you just have to trust your gut. Sometimes your gut, sometimes your intuition will tell you different. Follow it, because if I would have been driving my SUV, either I wouldn't be here or my niece, one of the two, because that piece of metal that was on that truck isn't on there. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, and trust your instincts. Those will keep you safe and secure way more than what you realize. And so I got a friend. So my friend Kyle just said he's inspired to write his book. So that's awesome, man. So I want to read this introduction, and just to kind of give you an idea of what the book's about, because book is not about just my story. This is a blueprint of changing your life. it's jam packed with PDFs and stuff with like different exercises. But like this is not just hey, this is not about my life story because truly I haven't done a lot to be able to put my life story out there in my opinion. And so it also this book is not about me. This book has never been about me. It's about inspiring others to do better for themselves. So the core of Show Up to Win is showing up, but not just showing up in attention with sorry, not showing up in just attendance, but showing up with intention and being present. That's what Show Up to Win is. And so I'm going to read this, the introduction. The bounce begins. The universe speaks in patterns. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it roars. But it communicates exactly what we need to hear, precisely when we need to hear it. Growing up in Benton, Kentucky, I learned basketball wasn't a game, but a language. When words failed, emotions ran too high, and life's chaos become overwhelming. There was always the rhythm of the dribble, the perfect arc of a well executed jump shot, and the satisfying swish of the net. Basketball taught me everything I ever needed to know about resilience. What I couldn't have known as that little boy throwing a red, white, and blue ball toward a 10-foot hoop was that the universe was preparing me. Each shot, miss, and correction in form build a resilience muscle I would desperately need later in life. You're holding this book because something in your life has knocked you down, a diagnosis, a broken relationship, a career setback, a tragedy. Whatever your shot was, that moment when everything changed, I want you to know one thing: your bounce back has already begun. In these pages, you'll discover the Show Up to Win method, the exact process I use to transform my darkest moments into my greatest mission. This method, which stands for Show Up to Win, is a comprehensive resilience strategy I developed based on my experience and research. It's not just a theory or wishful thinking, but a practical guide to overcoming life's challenges. I've been where you are, and I'm here to share what I've learned. Excuse me. I went from a promising basketball career to a misdiagnosis that stole years of my life. I went from an ordinary day to surviving a shooting that took the life of a police officer. I went from questioning my purpose to creating a movement that has transformed thousands of lives. And it all started with showing up. The universe aligns with those who take action. When you genuinely show up with intention, presence, and purpose, winning becomes inevitable. Your energy creates your reality. Your thoughts manifest your world. This isn't metaphysical theory, it's quantum physics in action. And as you read these pages, I invite you to become completely present. Absorb these words with your mind, heart, and spirit. The fact that this book found its way into your hands is not an accident. It's a sign from the universe, a gentle nudge in the right direction. The universe has brought us together for precisely this moment. It's time to show up to win. Let's begin. Dwayne Morton. And so that's the introduction. The blueprint is right here. I'm looking so forward to seeing what everyone has to overcome and how this book is going to help them overcome. And I'm just going to tell you, I have so many authors that I love, with like Brianna West and Brene Brown and there's coaches like one of my mentors, Victoria Rader. There's people out there that their words, all these things mean a lot to certain people because they help them transform their life. And so with this book, I hope that is, I pray, I no hope, I pray that it helps the correct person, the one that's spiraling downward and it picks them up. And so I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the ones that showed up on TikTok. I appreciate the ones that are on Riverside. I appreciate the ones that are on Facebook Live that I haven't even looked at yet. Michelle Weger, who's a great close friend of mine, who just sent me, when she sent me a message, like I get it. Like this was a last minute effort. And I promise on the second book, it won't be last minute. It's not gonna be this like people will know. There was still a moment of self doubt that was in me about this book. I didn't advertise it the way I could have. I wasn't sure. And that's the thing is, you guys are seeing my me go against my struggle, me going through my mountains, and you guys seeing me push through. And so I love you too, Carly. You're amazing. And so one of my friends on TikTok, like, I just want y'all to know, like, you just never know the type of people that you can just somehow you cross paths with. God allows us to cross paths with, and they're so great people. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like I wish I lived closer because I'd love to hang out with them, or like those type of things. But then you realize how much of an impact that just truly kindness can happen, and it's a very it's one of those things like I wish I would have had this community 20 years ago, but I truly had to go through my shit so I could be that person for other people to look through, to look up to. And for me, it's just one of those things is like if I can change one person's life, like that's enough. I tell people all the time if I speak on stage to 1,000 people and 999 people boo me off the stage, but that one person, they heard something, it landed on them, and they corrected their life, and everything is worth it. And so I I will open up for Q&A because I'm kind of lost for words right now. Because just being able to say I have my book in my hand is like it's not overwhelming, but it's just like such a proud accomplishment. And so I'm gonna look and see what questions I got. Thanks a lot, Tammy. I appreciate it. Bill. So so one thing is I'm very new with TikTok. Like I just was allowed to go live this week because I busted my butt to get it just so I could have it for this right here. Um, it is. I would be overwhelmed. I'll put it that way. But I'm allowing myself not to be overwhelmed. It's just uncomfortable, and that's fine. It actually is the greatest place to live. So all right. So so Kyle asked me what was the biggest thing to overcome to start my book. This book, this book was different. I actually had two books that I was writing on April 2nd. It's actually my mom's birthday. My hard drive went out. I had two books that were three-quarters complete. So I was looking at a release date of probably July, August for either one of those. And honestly, a lot of it more was for therapy for me. It was extremely therapeutic. And so the biggest thing to overcome is your self-doubt. Being public for me is an extreme challenge. Visibility for me is an extreme challenge. And so if I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm a very introverted person. I have a leader side, I have a hermit side. But man, I love that hermit side a lot. I love being alone. I love being calm and with peace. And when you have a lot of people around you, that's very difficult. So I'm not this big social person. So I would say that right there is just the visibility part of like, hey, this is forever. This is a legacy. And I think that was part of it was like, is this important enough legacy for me to get out of my own way? I would say that's the biggest thing to overcome was just myself. Man, I appreciate it, man. So, Swain, I appreciate it. I'm proud of you too, man. You're doing so many great things with these kids. Yeah, so Swain, the first book that you brought me to sign was the first book that I actually saw. Yep, yep. I had mine. I got mine later on in the day, and I was waiting to video it, and I just didn't know how to video it, and I didn't know. And then, I mean, so I've was holding on this book for over 24 hours, waiting to open it with you guys. So um, I thought it needed to be shared that moment to be shared with everyone because without a lot of people's love and support, it wouldn't have been done. Yeah, super patient. So I'm really patient. There's very few things that I'm not patient about, and I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything about it, but it's. Um, Let me see. One of the other questions I got the other day was, "Have I ever did I ever see myself as an author?" And I said yes. Okay, I'll do that, Swain. Yeah. Uh, so it the other thing I'll tell you is I was I was in the top 20 of self care books on new releases on Friday. I was actually number 19. Um, and then it like on that release day that kind of shifts into after that you go against everybody who's had like a week. And so I think I'm like at 224 in self help and like in 2 hour reads or something like that. So I've been very I everyone has supported me and I appreciate it. What the biggest thing I want to tell people about buying this book is please leave a 5 word review. Reviews mean so much, but it also means so much to Amazon to how much they'll push my book. And so the 5 star, y'all guys can make their choice on that if I deserve it. But I definitely would love it. It has to be a 5 word review for it to count for the algorithm. Um, yeah, so this QR code is actually going to be, um, it actually takes you to an intro video where I just explain a little bit about the book, um, a little bit about me. Um, what's funny is I recorded like a couple. Deanna will probably leave a 500 word review. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I mean, those are fine too. Uh, usually when I write reviews, they're long also, because usually a book means a lot to me. Like I bought Brianna Weist's book in March, and I left like a huge. It was the perfect book at the perfect time, and all her books have been that way for me when I've read them. Have been just an amazing part of my journey through healing. And so, hold on, I got. I'm trying to get on Facebook where I can actually see their comments, but I can't see. Okay. I don't even know if I know it says Facebook is running, but I haven't seen anybody on Facebook. So anyway, um, the other thing is if you're thinking about doing a book, like you should, like you just should. It's very rewarding. It's such a legacy item. I know when I told my nieces that I was writing a book, they were like, "Okay, I want a copy." Like the little one was like, "Can I see the cover of your book?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can see it. It's just a basketball. It's just a basketball with a hole in it." And so uh, it's yeah, so it's just my name all in lowercase. Uh, but yeah, so like one of the things is like I don't know if y'all see it. I'm trying to make it, but like I had these like little illustrations done throughout the book. It I don't know. I just thought it was something fun, but also something that like made the book unique. And so, but like I said, I feel like everyone has at least one book in them. There's some stories that they could teach others, and so when the biggest flip for me as far as mindset was when all these things were happening to me. I was like in a victim mentality. These things were happening to me. Like why are all these things happening to me? And then I shifted to wow, like I'm getting this platform. Like maybe these things are happening for me, right? And put me in a better place. And then it wasn't until one of my friends told me, she's like, no, these are actually happening through you. You had the shoulders strong enough to handle the burden, and you're able to facilitate these lessons to people. So it happens through you. And so that was when it just got really powerful. Yep. Hold on. Let me share this with you. Uh, me try to get y'all. It should be at the very top. Yeah. Thanks, Tammy. I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, so there's the Kindle edition and then there's this one. And I'll be honest, more people have been buying the paperback than the Kindle right now. So that was kind of one of those things. Like I was expecting more people to go Kindle, and I mean it's fine. Like I would rather have a book in my hand. And actually, I paid full price for this one because if the my copies don't come until like the end of the week or something, and I was like, I don't want to wait that long. Um, but yeah, so I just think it's just super important. There's just things in this book that I talk about applying, and when you apply them, you're gonna think, oh my gosh, this is so simple, but so many people pass up simple. And so anyway, I'm gonna get off here. It's like been 45 minutes, and so I know I had a bunch of people that told me they couldn't make it because it was just last minute, and that's perfectly fine. There'll be another one when I release my second book, and I promise it'll be bigger and it'll be a lot bigger. I promise. Um, and I'll have somebody else do all the scheduling, my post, and all that stuff, so it doesn't worry about my self doubt and stuff. Um, but yeah, I appreciate everyone to show up, even if they showed up for a minute. And so, like I tell everyone all the time, don't just show up. Show up to win. And so, like if you can apply that principle to your life, you're way better than most people, because most people just believe you just show up in attendance and that's good. And so before I leave, I want to tell y'all something. I'm really excited about getting this book out. I'm really excited about this week that I'm having right now. I have a huge week. I think I have like either 8 or 10 podcast recordings, but I have a pretty big coach coming on Friday that I'm just like super excited. I haven't met her before, and I don't want to drop her name until I find like until it's done. But I'm excited. I'm so excited. I actually was listening to her stuff when I was driving to the store earlier, and I was like a little kid waiting for Christmas. I was just like, I cannot wait to actually get a chance to talk with her and I get to actually ask her questions that I don't know if anyone else has those questions too, but like I do. I have the questions that I want to ask her. And so that's the cool thing about being a podcast host. You get to ask people any of your questions. Um, so look out for that announcement. And then I have kind of a I have a little bit of a bottleneck of some podcast episodes, and I'll probably release more this week. Probably release like so. I want to get back on a. I want to get on a schedule where it's once a week, but I feel like I have a bottleneck right now, and I kind of want to just get them out because I feel like someone needs to hear them. But ultimately, like I just feel that I'm learning as a podcast host so much that my first episode with Brian is so much different than my episode with the one I dropped with Cindy Whitman. And so um, I just I feel now when I watch my first podcast, I'm like, oh wow, it's like I wasn't very good. And so now I feel like I'm getting so much better, and I'm sure it's going to be like that for a long time. And but yeah, I just want to share that with the one the one coach when she comes on. I'm serious. I'm so excited about this on Friday. Friday afternoon cannot come fast enough. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I pray whatever you're going through, whatever struggle, I pray that something in my life inspires you to know that it gets better. And I pray the people who've purchased this book, they get something out of this book that maybe they've heard it somewhere else, but it just lands. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you for I believe time is the most valuable commodity. I bring this up every podcast. It's the most valuable commodity. And so when people give me that, it's just from the utmost gratitude. I say thank you. So, anyway, I love you guys. Y'all have a great night.